Welcome to this class for Parkinson's. My name's Lindsay. I'm a yoga therapist, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about kind of the yoga therapy goals that we aim to achieve when we work with Parkinson's. Now, one of the big things for us is to reduce stress. Now, as we know, stress can really exacerbate things like tremors, exacerbate how we feel in ourselves, how we respond to ourselves, and also the world around us. And when we deal with a lot of stress, it really negatively impacts things like our immune system, our digestion, and also our respiration, so how well we breathe. So breathing practices that we'll touch on today can help support us during moments of stress. Now, the breath is something we have with us all the time. So just learning how to breathe a bit more efficiently can help calm our nervous system and can help us maybe feel a little bit better when we're feeling maybe stressed or overwhelmed with stuff going on in our body, whether it's symptoms that we're really noticing or the stress of the situation. So when we use our breath, we can help reduce the stress response. And when we reduce the stress response and we come into what we call our parasympathetic mode, which is when we're resting and we're digesting, it improves the function of our body. So all of the way all of our systems work, when we come out of stress, they all work more efficiently. And through this, we develop the ability to regulate our nervous system. So self-regulation through breath work. And overall, this helps to improve things like our mental and physical resilience to the things that we find challenging. Other areas that we can look at alongside breathing practices are guided meditations and mindfulness practices. And studies have shown that this can help improve levels of dopamine in the body. And as you will know, exercise also helps improve dopamine. And that's the other thing yoga therapy can deliver. Postural work, strength work, and mobility work. And when we do this, we can observe areas of tightness in the body, so often neck and the shoulders. We can feel maybe a little bit tight in the chest. And when we move through mobility type practices, we can really get to observe and get in tune with our own individual bodies and where we feel tightness, learn postures or movements that can help relieve the tightness in the body, any tension that we might be feeling, which can increase when we feel stress, and any restrictions that we might be feeling in the body. So the mobility side really helps work with that side of any symptoms that you might be feeling and can hopefully alleviate some of the discomfort. The other thing in terms of strength, so we can improve strength, even just through chair-based work. We can improve strength and balance alongside mobility and flexibility. And when we work with strength and balance, it can help reduce the risk of falls. And as we know, exercise, as I said, also increases dopamine. So there's lots of evidence-based stuff that we can do that can hopefully help alleviate your individual experience of Parkinson's. Other areas we can work on are cross-body work. So even something simple like tapping opposite shoulders. This encourages not only coordination, but it means our brain has to think about the movement. And the great thing about that is it helps to strengthen neural pathways. So by doing new movement, it helps to make the brain a bit stronger. If we can do the same movement all the time, our brain kind of gets a little bit lazy and those pathways weaken. So everything that we can do can help improve and strengthen the neural pathways in our brain. So overall, what we're looking to do is develop positive behaviours. So create a toolbox of practices that can help us deal with the challenges of Parkinson's. We can learn new movements to help us deal with the challenges of feeling stiff and restricted. And all of that can hopefully alleviate some stress. And the idea being is that over time we can start to slow down the progression of Parkinson's and help maintain where you are for longer. Okay, so let's move into a little bit of breath work. Now, what I'd like you to do is relax your shoulders to begin with. And bring your hand, it doesn't matter which one, above your navel. Okay, so kind of think about where your solar plexus might be. Now behind the solar plexus is your diaphragm. Now your diaphragm is shaped a bit like a dome or a parachute. And when we breathe in, so if you think about it's resting here, when we breathe in, the diaphragm flattens, so it contracts. And when we breathe out, it moves up and relaxes. So actually just breathing, belly breathing with your diaphragm can help strengthen this deep core muscle. So the diaphragm is a deep core muscle. So when we breathe into our chest, the diaphragm doesn't get really worked and it can weaken. So to help us bring attention to breathing diaphragmatically, and don't worry too much if it takes a little while to get used to that and you're feeling it up in your chest, don't worry about it, just concentrate on a slow, steady breath. So with your hand above your belly, you can close your eyes or have them downcast. If you feel like you'll feel more steady to have your eyes open, you can have them open. So it's completely your choice. And don't worry too much where the breath is at the moment. I'd like you to focus on slowing your breath down. So you might choose to count it. So you could inhale, we could start with 2. So inhaling 1, 2. Exhaling 1, 2. Inhaling 1, 2. Exhaling 1, 2. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. So continue like this, and you can choose your count. You might want to stay with 2. You might want to go up to 5. So really just stay aware of the breath entering your body, filling up your belly. So maybe feeling that sensation under your hand. And then the sensation of the breath leaving the body. And notice, where in your body do you feel it? Like I said, it's okay if it's not where your hand is. That's something you can simply bring attention to when you breathe. Use your hand as guidance. And see if you can feel some movement there. But even just simply through the act of slowing your breathing and paying attention to your breath gives us a break from stress. Because our heart rate slows, it sends a message up to the brain that we are safe and we're feeling calm. So even just the act of slowing the breath down can be really beneficial for you. And then we're going to move into some neck and shoulder and mobility type movements and stretching. So you can bring that hand back to your lap. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is that this is really an individual practice. So notice your own range of movement. So don't push into anything that feels restricted. Notice the pace. So don't go too quickly. You can go at your own pace, even if it's slightly different to me. And go with your own ability. So always focus on, how does it feel in my body? Am I pushing too far? Does this feel painful? Maybe take a step back. So let's start with working on our posture. So as we know, with Parkinson's, we can end up with slightly rounded shoulders. And what this does is create a little bit of weakness through the back and a bit of tightness through the chest. And what we want to do is focus on relieving tightness and stiffness and tension around the neck and shoulder area. And when we improve, or certainly bring awareness to our posture and how we move and awareness of our own individual bodies, this can improve a sense of quality of life, okay? Because we're going to feel a little bit easier in our bodies. So wrap your arms around the back of the chair. hold wherever you can. It might be the side of the chair. This might be where you get today. It might be all the way around the back. So think about opening your chest. So sticking your chest out, lifting your chin up a little bit. What I'd ask you not to do is maybe lift your chin all the way up and squish the back of the neck, because this can create more tension and feel a bit uncomfortable. So chest open, and just focus on a little bit of squeezing back of the elbows. It doesn't matter how far back they squeeze, as long as in your body you can feel a stretch across the chest and the shoulders here. So think about that slow, deep breath again. And then let's so I'm going to mirror you. Take your right hand to the side of the chair and bring your left arm alongside your ear. Now, if it's not comfortable for your shoulder to do this movement, then you can always go out to the side. So you choose. Now think about the placement of your feet. So I want you to gently press your feet against the ground. So we call this grounding, having a sense of our body parts against the ground, and your thighs against your chair, and your back against the chair or a cushion. So be aware of your seated position. Reach the arm up and then lean over to your right a little. Just going to pause here. Slow breaths. And then we're going to bring in bigger movements here. So take the arm behind you in a circle and up again. So you get into that side stretch again and then round in a circle. So stretching out the shoulders, working with movement at your shoulder joint. Let's do 3 more. The next time this arm comes round, place it on the side of the chair. So lift your right arm up. So remember, it can come up by the side, so in front of you, or it can come out to the side and all the way up. And then lean over to your left. Don't lose the sense of that connection, feet to ground. I know I'm barefoot, but you certainly don't have to be. So it's just what I'm used to with yoga, but you can absolutely wear trainers or comfortable shoes. Good, and relax this left shoulder. So it might be, you may notice that the shoulder kind of hunches up. See if you can keep it relaxed. And then let's take those circles again. So take the arm behind you, reach it round and up. It doesn't really matter which direction you go in. So just slow, big movements. Really reaching through those fingertips. That's it, let's do last one. And then release. And then we're going to take a twist. So take your left hand to your opposite knee. And then take your other hand behind you. Maybe hold on to the chair here. And twist to the right. And just to say, lefts or rights, it's not important. So just bringing one hand to the opposite knee and twist in that direction. So definitely don't get hung up about getting lefts and rights correct. It really doesn't matter, because we do the same on both sides. So working with spinal rotation. So it's important that we take the spine in all directions that it's built to do. So we've done side to side movement. Now we're doing rotation. And we've done extension as well, which is a little bit of a back bend. And then switch to the opposite side. And there's no need to twist too deeply. So just again, focusing on your range of movement here. Where can you get to without feeling like you're pushing into any discomfort? I mean, we can feel discomfort when we move naturally. It's not a bad thing, but we don't necessarily want to push into anything, certainly that feels painful. Otherwise, breathe into anything that maybe feels like a strong stretch or strong sensation in the body. Think about that slow breath. And then return to the center. Okay, so now we're going to bring in this cross-body work, okay? So it's a bit like the Macarena, so you'll probably recognize it once we get started, so we can get a little bit of a wiggle going. I'm going to tap one hand to one shoulder, one hand to the opposite shoulder, then bring your hand to your hip, other hand to the hip, and wiggle forwards. And then tap one shoulder, the other, one hip and the other, and wiggle. And just keep going. And again, you can go at your own pace. You can go really slow. If you want to pick up the pace, then you absolutely can. But it's not about being really quick. We're going to do 3 more rounds. Get those wiggles going in the body. And as you lean forwards, can you feel the weight through your feet? So a little pressing down through the feet as you come up. Last one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then press through the feet. Good. So that might have lifted your heart rate a little, but you know, it's a good thing. We want to lift our heart rate. We want to get it working. It's a muscle. So we want to work our heart muscle. So this pose is called Archer. So we're going to bring the arms in front, palms facing down, then pull one arm back. So you're pulling the elbow back. So this will help with postural awareness. So I want you to gently squeeze that shoulder blade in towards the center of your back and twist with it. So a little bit of rotation here, and then switch to the other side. So can you pay attention to your back? Think about squeezing those shoulder blades in and waking up the back muscles. Let's go for 3, 2, and last one. And then come back to center. So we're just going to relax the upper body now and bring our attention to our head and our neck. So drop your ear to one shoulder and then just notice the stretch in the opposite side. Check if your shoulders are hunching up at all and relax them. Drop them down, don't pull them down, just soften. Soften around the shoulders. And I invite you to notice your breathing. If you find it useful, you can place your hand above your navel again. And simply observe your breath. Gently slowing it down, not forcing it. Just allowing your body to breathe. Then press your feet against the ground and slowly bring your head back to center. And then switch. To opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Now notice the stretch on the other side. And how does it feel if you draw your chin in slightly? Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to try and get a bit of a double chin. Draw it in. How does that feel in the side of the neck? And keep the shoulders relaxed. Hand on the belly if you wish. And just check you're not holding your teeth together. So check there's no tension in the jaw here. Check the tongue is relaxed. You're not holding it to the roof of the mouth. And then slowly press your feet down, head up to center and release. And then look over one shoulder. And look over the opposite shoulder. Take a breath. One more on each side. Take a breath. And switch. And come back to center. So that short sequence was more about stretching and moving and working with flexibility of the body. So this sequence is more about mobility, so working with the joints a bit more. So bring your fingers to your shoulders, elbows about as high as your shoulders, but again, work with your body. You may find they're lower, and that is absolutely fine. And from here, keep your feet planted firmly, so keep that awareness of feet on the ground, and this can be useful when we're walking around as well. So think about the placement of your feet. Then from here, we're going to bring the elbows in. You may find they touch, you may find they don't. Don't force them. And then as you take them back, I want you to gently squeeze your shoulder blades together. So bring the elbows forwards, maybe tap, and then squeeze back. So as we know, so this is obviously working with the shoulder joint. So we're getting the movement at the shoulders, but as we know, we're also waking up the back muscles. So as you squeeze back, saying hello to the back muscles, wakening them up a little bit. And this can help with things like our posture as well. That sense of shoulders back, chest open. And then what we're going to do is circles. So bring the elbows forwards, lift them up and round in a circle. Doesn't matter which direction, because we'll go in both. And then go in the opposite direction. Last one. And then bring the elbows out to the side again, and then we're going to work with holding the shoulders in position, working at the elbow joint, opening and closing. Bring the fingertips back to the shoulders, open and close. And if you want to sync movement with your breath, this can also be really useful. So you may want to inhale, open, exhale, close. Let's do that 3 more times. You may find the shoulders maybe start to ache a little bit. That's okay. A little bit of fatigue is good. It means that we were using our muscles as long as there's no pain. Open and close. And then release your shoulders down or your arms by your side. So we're going to work with extension and flexion at the shoulder joint. So as we bring the arms up alongside the ears, press your feet down. This is flexion. And then sweep the arms alongside your hips and behind you. This is extension. So when we come here, can you feel that squeezing back of your shoulder blades again? So inhale, arms up. Let's sync breath with movement. Exhale, sweep them back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Let's do 3 more. Breathing in, pressing back, and breathing out. But remember, no force. Explore your edge, where you can get to, see how that feels. Don't push into it. Last one. And then just bring your hands to your knees, to your thighs. Notice how that feels in the body. So maybe lower your eyes to the ground or maybe close them. Focus on your breathing, slow breath in. Slow breath out. And in your own body, does everything feel maybe even just a little bit more spacious, a little bit more at ease? Is there a sense of less restriction? And it's okay if the answer is no. This is something that we ideally will do regularly. So you may find that that improves over time. So we're going to stick with the neck and head for a minute, and we're going to work on strength. So what happens is often, especially when our shoulders are rounded and we're kind of leaning forwards a bit, we might find that we stick the chin out and we shorten the back of the neck. So the back of the neck gets tight, the front of the neck gets weak. So we want to work with that a little bit. And again, this will help with postural awareness. So take your hands, you can either link your hands together or take one hand on top, one hand below and behind your head. Then what I want you to do is press your head and your hands together, and you'll feel the chin come in, and the muscles at the front of the neck, which are your neck flexors, because they flex the neck, they will switch on. So again, it's firing these muscles up. So pressing, or you can do one hand on top of the other as well. Pressing your head into your hand, breathing in, and then exhale, release. Press, and release. Let's do that 2 more times. And then release your hands down. Take the hand, one hand to the side of your head. Same thing, press them together. You might feel that engagement on the side of the neck, of the hand that is pressing. And then release. Breathe in and press. And exhale, release. 3 more. Last one. And then release. Switch sides. Other hand, opposite side of the head. Press, breathe in. And release. And continue for 4 more. And you may find, so just observe, it might be really, really subtle, that you have a little bit of engagement. When you press your head and your hand together, do you feel a little bit of engagement through the abdomen? And it doesn't matter if not. Last 2. Just encouraging you to very simply just pay attention to other areas of your body. And release. Okay, for this one, it's a hand on the forehead. It doesn't matter which hand. So bring your hand to your forehead, push against it, feel those neck flexor muscles switch on again, and release. Press, and release. Last 2. And release the hand down. Last one is hands under your chin. So cup your hands under your chin. I want you to press them against each other. So when you're ready, press, inhale, and release. Last 2. And release. So we've done lots with the upper body here. So we're going to now concentrate a little bit with the lower body. I'm going to start with pelvic tilt. So if I turn to the side, so you can see how this looks. Hands can be on the thighs, you can be holding your chair, it's up to you, but we're going to kind of tuck the hips under. This is called posterior tilt. And then roll forwards on your pelvis, so you get a little arch in the lower back, a bit more space in the front body. This is anterior tilt. So roll your hips under and then roll them back. So the pelvis is moving, it's kind of tucking under and then tilting back, arching the back and then rounding. Let's go for 3. And then and release. And can you find somewhere in between the two? So somewhere that feels just maybe a bit more neutral in your body. So let me turn around to the front again. Now this one is to encourage some more abdominal engagement here, as well as activating the thighs. So it's taking your hands to your thighs and pushing down. So hold, let's breathe in. And then exhale, release. Push down and hold. Exhale, release. Keep going. And do your feet still feel planted firmly to the ground? And notice when you push your hands down and push your thighs up into your hands, can you feel engagement through this abdominal core area? And again, it might take a while to build up that sensation. Last one. And the other. Okay, so hands can be again on your thighs or holding the chair. I'm going to press one foot down and lift the other as high as you can. And then press that foot down and lift the other. So, getting the thighs a little bit more active, waking up those thigh muscles. So remember to push and then lift. Push and then lift. And then with both feet down, what we're going to do is going to hold under the thigh. Lift it up a little bit, don't worry if not. So just, if you feel like you're resting against the chair, that's fine. Or you can simply do it with your thigh resting against the chair. Otherwise, clasp behind your thigh and extend the legs straight and pull in. Extend and pull in. We'll just stay with the same leg for now and then we'll switch. Let's go for another 5, but you can always stop before. Okay, so any movement we do, you do not have to do it all. You comes back to going at your pace and your ability. Last 2 and 1. Set the foot down. Press through that foot. Interlace your hands either the opposite thigh or not. Remember, you can do it without using your hands. Lift up. Can you draw your shoulders back? So chest open, and then extend that leg straight and pull in. So you're trying to push that foot into something in front of you, then squeeze it back. So let's go for those last 5. Keep pressing through the opposite foot. Last 3, 2, and 1. And then release. Now we're going to combine those last 2 movements together. Again, hands can be holding the chair. Let's start, we'll just do one leg for now and then we'll switch. So lift up one leg, extend, pull it in, set it down. Same leg, lift, extend, pull in, set down. So really working, especially when we extend that leg straight, the thigh muscle. It's called your quadriceps. There's 4, hence the name quad. So lift, extend, lift as you bend it back in and place it down. Let's do 2 more. And it doesn't matter if you're going slower, maybe you're even going a bit faster, that's also fine. So switch legs, press the foot down of the leg you're not using, lift it up, extend, bend, set down. Lift, extend, bend, set down. Good. Now this is quite a challenging movement. So you may find possibly holding your breath, so notice if that's happening and can you let it go. Last 2. And just to say with that in mind, if you do find that you're holding your breath, it may mean the poses have gone a little bit too intense and it might be a sign for the body to stop. So do feel free. Feel like, oh, I'm really holding my breath and I feel really tense. Just stop, relax, come back to your breathing. Okay. Now it's again slightly challenging. We're going to be trying to activate the lower belly here, this kind of abdominal area. Does not matter if your hips do not come off the chair. Okay, just the action of pushing down and trying to lift the hips can really get those muscles working. So again, if I do it from the side for you. So sitting up tall, feet are planted firmly. When you're ready, hands to the side of the chair. Can you push down, maybe lift the hips and release. We're going to go for 5 of these. So push, lift. Last one. And then let's come back to center. And remember, you can repeat this as many times. You can always pause and do more reps if you want. So working with a little bit with the hips here in terms of mobility and stretching and opening. So we're going to take one leg out to the side and bring it in. Other leg out to the side. You can always hold the back of the chair if you want, so you get this nice chest opening position, and back in. Remember, everything is a suggestion. You're in charge of your body. Stop when you want to, make the movements as big as you like. Last 3. 2. And 1. And then taking both legs wide, we're going to do what we call a lawnmower. So one hand is going to reach towards the opposite ankle or foot, and then we're going to pull it back. So you're pulling that lawnmower to get it started. Then reach down, and you're reaching in the direction of the foot. You don't have to touch it. You may find you reach your knee, and that's enough for you. So then it comes back to paying attention to your range of movement, nobody else's, your pace, your ability. This is a great one for rotation, stretching out your spine, and also finding that engagement in the back muscles. Last one, and release. Opposite hand, reach to the opposite foot and pull back. Actually reaching too far down just then didn't feel great in my back, so I'm going to make the movements much smaller. So that's where you really need to, if you feel something like that, just go, okay, but it doesn't mean I can't do the movement. It just means I have to adjust. And don't do anything that might cause more discomfort in my body. Last 3, 2, and 1. Release. And just wiggle your feet back in together. Okay, this section is about big movements. This can help with things like core strength. It can help us improve our balance. And studies have shown, so it's about speed of movement, so quickening things up again. Studies have shown that regular kind of exaggerated, more vigorous movement can help reduce, some may find a reduction in symptoms. And what it does is this kind of big effort, these big movements, teaches us the effort required for normal movement in our day-to-day activities. So this first one, so this is about to do with posture. What we're going to do is we're going to lean forwards, reach hands out in front and down towards the feet. Then as you press down with your feet, pull back with high energy. And if you want, you can pull back to here. So you get this kind of chest opening, shoulders back posture. So when you're ready, reach forwards and down, push through the feet and pull back. Keep those feet planted firmly. Let's go for 5. Last 2 and 1. The great thing about these movements is that we're lifting our heart rate again. Next one is rotation. So remember, you can always pause, have a breather, and then press play again once you're ready. So feet stay about hip width apart or shoulder width. If you feel like you want to go wider, you can. Just again, what feels comfortable in your body. Bring the palms together, arms out in front. I'm going to stretch one arm out to the side, the other hand stays put. So I want you to rotate with it and then bring it back vigorously, smack the palms. Other arm out to the side, bring it back and smack. So see how loud you can make your clap. Really reach the fingertips away from you, maybe spread them, kind of maximum awareness and efficiency. Let's go for 3 more rounds. Stop if you need to. Last one. And relax. And again, notice, do you feel tingling? Do you feel sensation? Do the muscles feel alive? Do the hands feel alive? The shoulders, etc. And then come back to your breathing. So last one with a bit more vigorous movement. I'm going to hold on to the chair, again for a little bit more stability, because we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. I'm going to tap the feet in and out, okay? Actually, we've got a couple more to do. So from here, tap, in and out. Doesn't matter how wide you go. You can do really big movements. If you want to lift your legs up higher, you can. But really just tapping in and out. Okay, come back to center. Give the lower body a rest. We're now going to paddle our arms up and down. So reach the arms out in front, palms facing down, and paddle. So vigorous movement. Get the heart rate lifted, get those muscles working. Can you feel the movement of air around your arms, on your skin? Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Relax and pause. Make sure you're still supported and you can sit back comfortably. And breathe. We're going to finish with a very short guided meditation. So eyes closed or downcast, hands resting somewhere comfortably on your body. It might be thighs, it might be one palm on top of the other. It might be one hand on the belly. We'd like you to observe your breathing. The inflow and the outflow. Can you bring your attention to the tip of your nostrils, where the air gently draws in and out? Can you notice the change in temperature? The inflow, slightly cooler than the outflow. And as you breathe in, your body expands with the breath. It creates space. And where in your body do you feel that space being created? And can you make that space, the breath, a little bigger? Can you feel a bit more stretch on the inhale as your body expands outwards? And then as you breathe out, can you feel your body gently contracting inwards? Maybe you get a sense of your rib cage expanding on the inhale, the muscles between the ribs stretching. And on your exhale, those muscles between the ribs gently contracting. Can you have a sense of the ribs drawing closer? Bring your attention down to your feet. Are they placed evenly on the ground, or can you feel the weight more in the outer or inner edges? And simply observing, maybe rebalancing if you feel you would like to. So trying to get the weight distributed evenly across the soles of your feet. And then move your attention up to your ankles, shins, calves, front of the knee, behind the knee, front of the thigh, the sensation of the back of the thighs against the chair. Can you feel that sense of gentle pressure? Your pelvis, lower belly, upper belly, your solar plexus and the diaphragm resting behind it. Chest, right shoulder, left shoulder, both shoulders together. The whole right arm and hand, the whole left arm and hand, upper back, middle back and the shoulder blades, lower back, the entire spine, throat, the jaw and your mouth. Find space between your teeth. Your cheeks, the nose, both eyes and eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the top of the head, the back of the head, the back of the neck, the whole face and head, the whole upper body, the whole lower body, the whole body, the whole body breathing. Bring your palms to touch now at your heart center. Take a slow breath in and all the way out. Namaste. And in very simple terms, Namaste means the good in me, or my light, recognizes the good in you and your light. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Let me know if you have any questions. Remember, this is something that can be returned to as many times as you like, and you can do one section at a time depending on the time that you have. And I just hope you've enjoyed it and you find something really useful from the practice. Thank you so much for joining me. See you soon.